Star Selection Show right now.
Each July, the best of the best gather to showcase their skills. The kings of baseball, the elite of a very select group, an all-star.
Taken over. I don't think the Yankees even knew he was going to be this good.
When hasn't he been on his game this year?
Felix rising to the challenge.
A dominant performance. That's just some kind of honor right there.
What an amazing play by Puig.
What an unbelievable throw by Yoenis Cespedes.
Flying in, makes a great catch.
Oh, they're going crazy.
We are walking off.
This ball game is over.
And welcome to the 2014 Taco Bell MLB All-Star Selection Show. I'm Carl Ravitch here with the Hall of Famer Barry Larkin, who played in 9 games and was elected to 12 of them. And Tim Kirkshin. I made a mistake earlier. He said he has been covering them since 1981. I thought you had covered 81 of them, but it's since 1981.
That would make me like 112 years old.
Yeah, you're not that. Really a very, very special night. I'll be honest, I'll sell the farm early. I'm in on the All-Star game. I think it's a terrific night, and we'll get the thoughts of these two on all these selections. We're going to first tell you how the names you're about to hear were selected. 17 starters were elected by the fans. They did that online and at the ballots at the ballparks. Players would then elect 16 from the American League and 17 from the National League. The DH, of course, is one of the players in the American League, and that's why we have 9 players from the National League. And then the managers, Mike Matheny, who we'll hear from in just a little bit, and John Farrell fill out the rest of the roster. So we'll have 33 when we're done here, and then there is the final fan vote, which will determine the 34th player, and we'll tell you who those 5 names, of which you will choose 1 each, will get in. Let's get to the American League starters, and you go to Toronto. Jose Bautista, who of course is the captain of the Home Run Derby on Monday night, the leading vote getter overall with almost 6 million votes.
And a .422 on-base percentage and 17 homers. Those are good numbers.
Special player. Very special. We're going to have Mike Trout at fields for a long time in the American League outfield, so he'll join Bautista out there. He was second to him in votes.
He's the only player in Major League Baseball with 20 home runs and 10 stolen bases this year so far.
And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, your vote counts because Adam Jones was in 5th place the last time we'd all checked. He's a starter.
Right, and it's a case where he might be a good starter for the American League. He's got a bunch of home runs. He's been better defensively this year in the outfield.
Let's go around the infield, and no surprise, the best right-handed hitter in all of baseball, Miguel Cabrera, his 9th All-Star selection, second as a starter.
Of course, we expect to see Miggy there.
They also have Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Abreu at first base. Pretty good group at first base.
Robinson Cano goes out to Seattle. He has his team in a playoff race, and of course, he's an all-star.
Well, he's hitting .320 on the season. Just doesn't have the power numbers, but you would expect that out in Seattle. But this guy, some kind of player as well.
Josh Donaldson, one of 6 Oakland A's to make the All-Star team. His first as a starter and his first All-Star selection. He could have been the MVP last year.
Yeah, he should have made the All-Star game last year. He was the one guy I said, how can he not be on?
In a lot of ways, this feels like Derek Jeter's All-Star game, and certainly to start and the hours leading up to it, and then how they take him off the field.
Hey, I made my final All-Star appearance in my last year of my career. This is going to be some kind of special for that young man.
We'll talk more about Jeter in a moment. Matt Wieters was elected a starter, and of course he's having Tommy John surgery. He will be replaced by a player's selection at catcher, and we'll talk about that later in the show. So the Orioles have Jones in the outfield. They would have had Wieters at catcher. Nelson Cruz will be the designated hitter, not David Ortiz, and certainly the way Cruz is playing, he deserves it with the numbers.
27 home runs so far, 70 ribbies, 286. He's having a great season yet again.
Let's recap the American League starting lineups brought to you by Taco Bell. And as you look, kind of interesting. This is the first time in American League All-Star history that the 8 non-pitching defensive positions, so you got them there, will be started by players from 8 different teams. We don't have any teammates that are starting here. in the infield or outfield.
Right, and Salvador Perez deserves to start for the Royals. He's a great defensive catcher. Buck Showalter tells me he's like a giant pillow back there. Everything hits him and just drops right in front of him.
Perez, of course, is replacing the Orioles' Matt Wieters. Miguel Cabrera of the Detroit Tigers joins us here at another All-Star game. I'm curious what it means to you personally to be elected once again to the All-Star game.
A lot. I mean, it's an exciting moment, especially because you're going to see all the best players in MLB. Be part of that is something big, something you dream as a kid.
When you grow up where you grow up and you've become one of the best hitters of all time, what kind of personal challenge does an All-Star game present for you? Do you get excited about facing the Wainwrights and the Kershaws, or is that a pain?
Excited, but at the same time, it's gonna be a headache. So, I mean, we gotta be ready for the best pitchers. Hopefully, we can do great. Hopefully, we can work counts, and hopefully, we can get hits, drive runs to home plate.
Is there any different approach for you when it comes to an All-Star game versus facing the Rays?
I mean, the difference is when you're not starting. When you're not starting in the starting lineup, you prepare different. But when you're in the lineup, I mean, the same thing. You go out there, you do the warm-up, you do anything to be ready for the game, and trying to play 5 or 6 innings good.
I know you had a lot of votes, millions of votes, and many of them came from Venezuelans and Latin Americans. Is there something you'd like to say to them in Spanish, in your native tongue?
Yeah, I want to say something in Spanish. I want to say gracias por todo el apoyo que nos da a la fanaticada venezolana, latinoamericana, por ese gran apoyo y no lo haremos mal, haremos todo lo mejor de nosotros en ese juego y trataremos de ganar ese partido para la Liga Americana.
And for our English audience, tell them what you just told them.
I mean, thank you very much for all the support, all the votes. I appreciate what you guys do for us, and hopefully we can win for American League. Hopefully we can do a great game, and we're going to play 100% again.
Miguel, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
It is really cool when you think about the matchups, and you take maybe the best right-handed hitter currently playing. He's 2 for 12 in the All-Star game. He said headache. I mean, you've dealt with it. Yeah. I know Tim talks about the 99 game with Pedro. Did you feel anything kind of special about it when you had to deal with those guys who were 60 feet away?
Absolutely. You know, everyone's amped for this game. And as a hitter, that's not what you want to do. You want to kind of calm down. But those pitchers are getting out there. And Pedro, you talked about that 99 game. Pedro was throwing about 1 billion with the Bugs Bunny changeup that particular day. And that's across the board. Pitchers get amped. It helps them. I think the hitters, when they get amped, not so much.
It's very easy to look at the lineup. You do it every year and be like, how does anybody get anybody out? Because they're such good hitters. How about the lineup that the American League has and John Farrell?
Well, it's really good. Their bench is even better. I don't know how you pitch this lineup, but Barry's right. If one of these pitchers, if Kershaw or Wainwright comes out and he's dealing, he's going to deal with this lineup. That's just the nature of the game. But I wouldn't want to go through Mike Trout and Jose Bautista and some of the other guys, Cano and Cabrera, in this lineup. Anytime we get a chance to watch Mike Trout play, that's a treat for all of us.
As humble as you are, Cabrera's in a position where he goes to these games, and he could conceivably be the best hitter of all the All-Stars. What do you think that's like?
I don't know what that's like. You know, I tell you what, though, it is a humbling experience. You hear a lot of guys go in there and talk about, I'm with the greatest players. Miguel said it. Jeter talked about it. It is a humbling experience, you know? So you don't look at yourself as better than anybody or, you know, I can do this, that, the other. Everyone has their talents, and everybody brings it to the All-Star.
Looking forward to it a week from Tuesday. We now know who's going to be starting for the American League. We'll talk about the pitchers and the reserves coming up. Close races in the National League. I mean, these went down to the wire. Yadier Molina, Lou Coy of the Brewers. There's already a little heat undermining the Brewers and Cardinals. Freddie Freeman, Paul Goldschmidt. Last year, Freeman was one of the last 5 to be voted in. And how about the outfield race? Will it be Yasiel Puig joining Giancarlo Stanton? Which one, if either, were left out? That's all coming up. We're going to see this guy in All-Star games, providing his health for a long time, and here's why.
Breaking pitch out toward left. It is gone. A big fly. Walk-off style. check that one off the bucket list.
We play it tomorrow night, the 2014 Taco Bell All-Star Selection Show, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss, and in part by Cheez-It Grooves, because at Cheez-It, real cheese matters.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there's so many prices out there for the exact same room? Trivago searches hundreds of websites at the same time and shows you the most popular hotels. You can then easily compare all the hotels that meet your search criteria and find the room that is ideal for you. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. That's how you can be sure that you find the ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
This is what men do to try to get every hair. This is what we do. Introducing Fusion Pro Glide, rebuilt with FlexBall technology. Makes maximum contact over tricky contours and gets virtually every hair. New FlexBall for the Fusion Pro Glide. Gillette, the best a man can get.
You know that voice?
The one in your head.
The one that doubts you.
The one that tells you
You're not strong enough, fast enough.
good enough.
Well, the next time you hear that voice,
Just power through.
just power through.
Just power through.
Just power through.
Powerade Zero. Zero-calorie hydration. Powerade. Power through.
Ooh, strawberry.
Share some happiness with Tim Hortons' new strawberry baked goods. Featuring the delicious strawberry shortcake donut, delightful strawberry shortcake muffin, and our sweet strawberry glazed Timbit. Strawberry season won't last forever, so head to Tim's today.
When I'm on the court, there's no compromise. Being a professional athlete requires focus and determination. Off the court, it's about living well. Pinty's Eat Well helps me live well without compromise. Gluten-free, no artificial colors or flavors, and an excellent source of protein. It's like taste and a nutritious lifestyle have happily come together. Pinty's Eat Well. Live well, eat well, be well.
But I'm gonna go with some sort of pastel colors. You know, the like relaxing things, because that's such a stressful job.
So what do you think? Green or blue?
Don't let heartburn get in the way.
Blue.
Rolaids!
Looks like they're going for it. This one's going deep. Oh, what a catch. Touchdown.
Here's a pass back to the point. A one-timer. Oh, what a save.
Now you have the freedom to watch TSN and TSN2 live whenever, wherever.
Here's the free kick. It's into the net. Oh, that's wonderful.
What a crazy day in sports. Sit right back and hold on. Sports Center is coming your way.
The scores, the stories, and now the channels. Let yourself go at tsn.ca or download the TSN Go app.
What drives us to be the best? It's all the little things, those minor details that no one else can see. And we know that even the slightest edge
Good morning, I'm Paul Beck.
can make all the difference.
Watching the street. There's big news in the Canadian mining sector.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the 2014 Taco Bell MLB All-Star Selection Show. And, of course, about 45 minutes from now, he is an All-Star. A whole host of All-Stars in this game tonight. We've talked about that guy there. We'll talk about the others from the Rays and Tigers in just a little bit. But Miguel Cabrera gets to deal with David Price tonight. Rays and Tigers. First pitch, 45 minutes and counting. Now the National League starters, boys and girls. The voting began April 25th. The last time you could vote in the stadium was June 26th. And you guys all like Troy Tulowitzki at short.
Well, he's leading all of Major League Baseball in batting average, on-base percentage, and OPS. Guy's having a fantastic year.
Around the infield we go. So it's not Freddie Freeman, it's Paul Goldschmidt who earns the number of votes to get the start.
And it's a shame, at least for the last couple of years he plays in Arizona, we don't appreciate how good this guy really is.
He, of course, was in the home run derby a couple of years ago. Chase Utley. How about Utley, his 6th time being selected and a starter all 6 of them?
A resurgence for him, his first selection since 2010. Dealt with a few injuries, but he's back.
He's back, and he has been very, very good for a team that has struggled. This one's interesting, and it really speaks to the voice of the Milwaukee Brewer fan to get Ramirez into the starting lineup.
Yeah, I was just in Milwaukee the other day. They love their club, and they voted him in a very strong position, 3rd base in the National League this year.
That's the infield. Let's go around the outfield, and Clint Hurdle is going to be one of the assistant coaches there for Mike Matheny. He'll have Andrew McCutchen to fall back on.
How do you follow up an MVP season? Well, you start off with the All-Star game.
He's not the only Pirate. We'll talk more about that in a moment. There's another Brewer, Carlos Gomez, who gets in his 2nd All-Star selection, and he has been very good this year.
He swings really hard. He runs really hard. He creates some issues, and he's fun to watch.
Ryan Braun, another Brewer, but it's not Braun. It's Yasiel Puig who gets the final outfield spot. So the fans who wanted to be heard last year, they are heard this year with Puig.
He's an exciting player. That's what you want to see at the All-Star game. 12 home runs, 49 ribbies so far.
And behind the plate, it's going to be Yadier Molina. No Buster Posey this time. It's Molina who gets in, and the fans in St. Louis, of course, rightfully so, putting Molina behind the plate.
Right, and so Molina and Perez, I believe, are the 2 best defensive catchers in the game, and they'll be starting the All-Star game.
So again, you look at the National League now, and as Taco Bell recaps the National League, we want to remind you that somebody like Giancarlo Stanton is not in the outfield, but he very well could be a DH because this game is being played in Minnesota in American League Park. Barry, your thoughts? You're a National League guy.
I think they got it right. You know, there's certainly a lot of deserving players, but all these guys that are on the All-Star team, at least starting, certainly the fans got it right.
And not to throw water on it, but I guess 3rd base, you kind of politically said it properly. There's a lot of good players there.
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to tell you who else is in that competition. But I just love the athleticism of the outfield. McCutchen, Puig, and Gomez. There's going to be some excitement out there.
All right, when we come back, we've now seen the guys that are going to start, and they can certainly hit. We're going to get into the pitchers. Their goal is to make sure that runs are few and far between. And oh my goodness, there are so many good pitchers. The National League is a joke. How about Tanaka? Should he get the start in the American League? Yadi Molina, he hits, he catches, he throws. This is why he is going to be a starter in the All-Star game.
Strike 2, take and throw down, and they got it. A standing ovation for Yadier Molina. That's unbelievable.
For nearly a century and a half, the claret jug has gone to the one man who could outplay the field, topple the course, and tame Mother Nature herself. A storm awaits at Royal Liverpool. The 143rd Open Championship, July 17th at 4 a.m. on TSN.
The annual company retreat, planned, as usual, by this guy. Nature lover, people person. And you put up with it all. Because he also booked you a room at this place. Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Canada Drives understands that not everyone has perfect credit, and that's okay. So when you need help getting the car, truck, SUV, or minivan that you need, you'll find it at getdriving.ca. The application process is quick, free, easy, and no obligation, with 0 down options. Whether it's bad credit or no credit, we'll help find the right vehicle for you at a payment you can afford. Apply online at getdriving.ca or dial 1-855-370-7055 and get driving today.
Enter promo code TSN.
everything for your everyday. Check it off your list for less at Target.
Subway restaurants proudly present the fresh comeback of Super Avocado and Super Spinach in your breakfast routine. They've joined forces with the Subway Super Morning Squad to give your favorite breakfast sandwich a flavor boost. Spinach and creamy avocado make a tasty addition to any breakfast sandwich. Pack some flavor into the most important meal of your day and freshen up breakfast with spinach and avocado. Available only for a limited time. Subway, eat fresh.
You always get the benefit of our GMC engineers' thinking. Now get the benefit of their price. Announcing GMC employee pricing. Now you pay what they pay on every GMC vehicle. Like the 2014 Sierra with best available horsepower, the most fuel-efficient V8, and the title of Best New Pickup from the Automobile Journalists Association of Canada. GMC employee pricing. Get a GMC that works for you at a price that suggests you work for us.
TSN. We are your destination. Your source for the best hockey insiders and analysts. Your team. Your home.
Canada is on top of the hockey world.
TSN, Canada's sports leader.
We welcome you back to the 2014 Taco Bell MLB All-Star Selection Show. The starters have been revealed, and now it's time to get into the pitchers. Target field, here we come. Let's go to the American League, and the guys that have been selected. Yu Darvish, Texas Rangers. Good numbers and strikeouts waiting to happen when he gets on the mound.
Well, you go to the All-Star game because you want to see strikeouts, you want to see home runs. This guy on the mound, you're certainly going to see some of the strikeouts.
Last year, Scherzer versus Harvey to start. No Matt Harvey this year. Max Scherzer second time.
I saw him when he came out of the game last year after one scoreless inning, and the smile on his face was unmistakable. He was thrilled to be there.
All right, so think at home, if you had these guys, who's going to start this game? And a lot of people will say, I think it should be Felix Hernandez.
Yeah, I think it should be Felix Hernandez as well, but there are a lot of great candidates. He's been dominant yet again.
10 starts in a row, 2 earned runs or less. Gaylord Perry, 1974, last AL guy to do that.
That's impressive. And how about the impression Tanaka has made in his first half season?
It's been fantastic how he's been able to make the transition to Major League Baseball and make it seamless.
John Farrell has chosen one of his players to go. We haven't gotten the reserves. Will John Lester be the only Red Sox player off a World Series team?
Well, he certainly is an ace of the staff, and he is a deserving guy as well.
Rest of the guys, you'll see David Price in our Sunday night baseball game. He, of course, has been great, not giving up any runs. Kazmir's career has absolutely taken off the last couple of seasons for the A's. And then Mark Burley, who had really got off to an incredible start and got banged around a little bit. Here are the guys that are going to be closing games. It's Sean Doolittle, who has been lights out. Dylan Betances is having a great year. He deserves to be there.
Right, I saw him throw the other night. He's 6'8", he throws 100. I don't know how anyone ever gets a hit off.
Greg Holland, the Royals, another one, and Perkins for Minnesota, so the Twins will have at least one to root for. There's a lot of great names there. I mean, Tanaka's season is Cy Young-like already. So who's starting? You said Felix?
I said King Felix. You know, I think the All-Star game is about sensationalism. This guy has a big arm. He has the strikeouts. He's got a big name. But, you know, there's certainly a lot of deserving guys out there.
I'll take Tanaka, 12-3, 2.27 ERA. He's got 18 walks and 130 strikeouts and tied a Major League record for most consecutive quality starts at the beginning of a career, 16. Where would the Yankees be without that guy?
In a lot worse place than they are now. He starts on Sunday, and that's one of the things you always run into is when is their last start? How does it affect their ability to then go again on Tuesday? I'm with you on Felix Hernandez, especially given the Sunday situation.
Right. Well, Felix is going to start. Tanaka, he's not going to pitch in the All-Star game. Right. Pretty sure about that.
As those of you are asking, Felix's last start is actually Friday, so we'd have Saturday, Sunday, Monday to rest, and then he can go on Tuesday. All right, so those are the American League starters. The National League, who's going to start, maybe even more interesting. Johnny Cueto of the Cincinnati Reds makes his first career All-Star team. His number's very good with a sub-2 ERA and some more run support. He'd probably have a better record.
He's been great all year. There are about 5 really good candidates to start this game for the National League.
Okay, this guy just stopped giving up runs. Scoreless inning streak now at 36. He'll have another start before the All-Star game.
And he missed some time this year. He still has the numbers up along with everyone else.
Good job by Mike Matheny. Said, I think Zach Greinke will be good on this team, too. Go out and take him.
That's a way to go out on a limb.
So
take a
Greinke
chance.
Joins Kershaw and Puig from the Dodgers. 11 wins already this season. Madison Bumgarner is one of those guys who makes the late start. So his availability to actually start this game isn't great. And I'm not sure, given some of the names, that he would be in consideration for that. But helping San Francisco to play so well in the first half. Here's one that probably deserves a lot of consideration to start, Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, he's 11-4. He's got a 1.89 ERA. He's had 8 starts where he's allowed no runs.
And Adam Wainwright joins us now here. And I guess just kind of bring me back a few hours, because I don't really know that a lot of people understand how this all works. But how were you told, and what's the emotion, even though you had the record that you had in the first half and it felt like a foregone conclusion? What's that moment like?
Well, it's a tremendous honor. We found out from our manager, Mike Matheny. He pulled everybody into the clubhouse. We had a team meeting, and then he kind of let everybody know, first with our amazing catcher, Yadier Molina, and then I was the second person he recognized. And it's just a great honor. Something that we could always say we did. It's when you get to go and play among the best in the game, it's always something very special, something you never forget.
And I know you, and I know how competitive you are. How quickly did you then, after that meeting, in your mind say, okay, I got a game plan now to make a pitch for me to start that game?
I think the best way for me to make a pitch to start that game is to keep pitching very well, and I have 2 more starts that are very important for this team against the Pirates and the Brewers coming up, 2 division foes, and I think the best pitch I can make is to go out and pitch very well in both of those games.
And lastly, we talk with the managers about this, and everybody seems to understand it, maybe you more than others because you've been in the World Series. How critical is winning this and getting home field advantage? How important is that?
Well, yeah, I think it's very important. Everybody plays better in front of their home crowd, especially in the playoffs. Just knowing the atmospheres we played in last year and the year before that, when we go into tough places like Atlanta and Pittsburgh and Milwaukee and Texas and all these great cities that love their team, and they love to be as loud as possible and make it very tough on you as an opposing player. It gives you an advantage if you have that home field advantage. So I think you'll see the NL guys going out there busting their tails trying to get that spot for us.
I love it too, and I know how competitive you are with Clayton Kershaw. Now you're on the same side of him. How good is that?
He's a joke, this guy. I mean, he's incredible. He's missed, what did he miss, 6 weeks, and he's 10-2 with a 1-something. I mean, he just is, he sets the bar. You know, what I really like about Clayton, though, is as good as he is on the field, he's that good of a guy off the field. He works so hard. He's just a great guy. Everything I've heard is a great teammate, but he and I share a lot of the same beliefs, and we just, I mean, I really like being around him, so I look forward to being there with him. But I mean, what are you supposed to do? He has a 1.80 ERA last year. He comes back. He doesn't skip a beat. He's doing it again. It makes you go out there and want to compete as hard as you can.
I know you are, and you are equally as good a guy as he is. Look, we look forward to seeing you Monday in Minnesota. Thanks very much, Adam.
All right, thank you.
A decent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you like that. Here's
Keep going.
Here's the rest. Jordan Zimmerman, Julio Teheran is there, and Tyson Ross as well. Teheran, interesting, because, of course, the Jeff Samardzija story, which we'll get more to in a second. Here is the bullpen guys. If you like 100 plus, you like this. And Pat Neshek's first. Of course, he was a longtime Twin, and now Matheny brings him back to Minnesota.
How'd you like to have Chapman in the 8th and Kimbrel in the 9th, or vice versa?
And K-Rod, how about
retirement?
Frankie Rodriguez's story. Speaking of stories, Jeff Samardzija, is this just kind of tough luck? He was an All-Star because he was a Cub, and he is now an A. So while the players selected him as a Chicago Cub, they didn't select him as an Oakland A. He was traded.
I'm gonna tell you what, though. He certainly is an All-Star and deserving. I'm sure he will be acknowledged as an All-Star. But that move from going to the Cubs to the A's,
He'll sign up for it?
I think he'll sign that all day long.
And he will be there if he chooses to be there. He does not yet have a spot on the roster, but he will be in uniform. I imagine it's the A's uniform. And as he gets honored, there is a chance. And all this is very fluid. With injuries, we saw Tulowitzki kind of tweak his groin maybe today. So many guys who aren't going to be named here could end up in Minnesota a week from Tuesday night. But I can't get over the National League quandary of who starts that game.
Yeah, it's impossible. How do you not start Clayton Kershaw, who's not only the best pitcher in the game, but right now the hottest pitcher in the game? But if you're going to give guys credit for the first half of the year, I think Adam Wainwright's had the best first half. He has the lowest ERA among the qualifiers. He's got the highest WAR. He's won 11 games. He's got a 189 ERA. So if I had to pick someone, I would pick him, but I would like to follow him with Kershaw and Cueto.
And individually with Cueto, the ERA, the sub-2 ERA, just hasn't had the run support this year. But I agree with you. I think I would go with Kershaw and Wainwright. Maybe bring both those guys into the coach's locker room and just say, all right, let's flip a coin, boys.
Flip a coin.
That's right.
If he's got a 44-inning scoreless streak, you have to start the guy.
Well,
he missed 6 weeks, though. He missed 6 weeks, and that's one thing that you have to take in consideration.
That's what I said.
I'm not considering that. I'm considering the scoreless, but I absolutely understand what you're saying. It's going to be a good decision, and we will talk with the manager, Mike Matheny, to find out exactly who he's going to go with. So why is Kershaw in this game?
Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike three, and a no-hitter on the 15th strikeout of the game. The greatness of Clayton Kershaw shown off yet again.
The deck on the left is weathered. The deck on the right is warm. Both could use a new finish, but which way do you look? We created a Restore designed to refresh and a Restore designed to repair, so you could get a durable finish that restores a whole lot more. Restore fun. Restore friends. Restore your outdoor oasis. Now there's a perfect Restore solution for any deck, from coast to coast and every place in between, no matter what condition it's in. The revolutionary Restore 4X to refresh and 10X to repair, exclusively from Rust-Oleum.
Are you tired of online dating? Online dating sites can feel like one endless game, filling out profiles and searching through photos. I was tired of dating online, so I called LifeMates to find a real connection.
I was also tired of online dating. I'm busy, and I don't have time to sort through online profiles. LifeMates met with me in person, I told them what I was looking for, and they handled the rest.
LifeMates offers what dating online can't, a personal touch and proven results. Call us or visit us online today. You have nothing to lose and a LifeMate to gain.
Well, 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 if it isn't Indy race car driver James Hinchcliffe. Hey. Pretty nice Civic SI you got there. Yep. Did you notice that I'm also driving a Civic SI? Oh, yeah. This is happening. You got owned, Hinchy!
Celebrate over 50 years of racing during Honda's Checkered Flag event. Lease a 2014 Civic DX for $39 weekly at 0.99%.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Moncton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathe the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there's so many prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares prices for over 600,000 hotels from over 100 different websites. So instead of searching for hours and spending too much, Trivago makes it easy to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Just go to Trivago.ca, type in where you want to go, and with 2 clicks, select your check-in, your check-out dates, and search. It's that simple. Trivago searches hundreds of websites at the same time and shows you the most popular hotels. You can adjust the price so that it fits in with your budget, and select the number of stars, or filter by average guest rating from over 34 million reviews. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room.
And that's how you can be sure that you'll find the ideal hotel for the best price with Trivago.ca.
Hotel? Trivago.
Welcome you back to the 2014 Taco Bell MLB All-Star Selection Show.
First All-Star game in '98, I was overwhelmed. I was wide-eyed. On the field with guys that I looked up to when I was growing up. I get an opportunity to be in the same clubhouse as them, on the same field as them. And it's when you're there, you feel as though you don't even fit in. Like, what am I doing here? But it's an experience that I'll always remember.
All right, let's take a look at the T-Mobile Game Changer. And in so many ways, this is going to feel like the Derek Jeter All-Star Game. 1999, his second. He took Nomar's place, and then he imitated him in the batter's box. The AL would go on to win that one 4-1. 2000 Turner Field, first All-Star. Starts, he doubles off Randy Johnson, hits an RBI single off Leiter in the fourth, went 3 for 3. That earned him MVP.
I remember that game. They interviewed Derek before the game and said, who did you watch when you were growing up? And he said, me. Yeah. At the All-Star game.
That's always.
And he laughed. He chuckled about it. Yeah. It was fun.
The backhanded compliment. Yeah. Like, you're that old. That was at Safeco. He went yard off Lieber. And then 2008, Yankee Stadium, his last game at that building. He gets the rousing ovation. Cal Ripken embraces him. He singled in his first at-bat. The AL eventually won it. That one lasted 15 innings. Most years selected as an All-Star. There's a few Yankees. Mantle 16, Berra 15, the captain 14. Mariano, who was the MVP last year, and Joe DiMaggio 13. So he caps off what has, of course, been such a phenomenal career, at least All-Star-wise, because the season's not over yet, with this appearance. And you talked about your last game. We remember Ripken's last game. What are some of the things that you think he's going to be experiencing, knowing you're not him?
Well, I think he's experiencing it every single day because this is his last go around the league. You know, I think you just try to savor everything, every moment, and just take every moment and really take the time to smell the grass. And, you know, Derek, I'm really going to be interested to see how the Minnesota fans kind of applaud him when he comes up there to hit for the first time.
Doesn't it? It feels like he's doing that with all of his stops. He seems to be smiling a little.
Absolutely.
He seems to be doing that.
Right. He's enjoying this. And I was with Mariano Rivera when he came out of the game last year, and he was in the dugout. He shook everyone's hand. And when I interviewed him, he had a tear in his eye. Then I got to interview him again after the game, and he cried a little bit again because of what the American League did to honor him, leaving him out there by himself so he could get his just due. I have a feeling the same thing or something similar is going to happen with Jeter.
Yeah. How do you take him out? Let him get on the field and then...
Absolutely. Let him get on the field, the crowd builds up, and then you pull him off. Maybe they let him go out there by himself like they did Mariano. You know, it'd be a little weird, but... you know, certainly you're going to have to do something because he's been so great for this game.
All right, we will get to all the reserves, and those guys obviously play a big role in an All-Star game. But before that, I want to remind everybody, if you're just tuning in, who the American League All-Star starters are. And you'll see Blue Jay, Angel, Oriole in the outfield, Yankee, Mariner, Tiger on the infield. The Oriole behind the plate is Wieters, but he is not going to go. Salvador Perez of the Royals. So you've got 8 different teams represented by the 8 position players on the field. Wieters is hurt. Salvador Perez gets the nod. There's a universal respect for what he does, probably more than the conversation allows, huh?
Absolutely. So Matt Wieters, a great defensive catcher, is replaced by another great defensive catcher. And again, people aren't aware of how good this guy really is.
Possible home run derby guy, Jose Abreu, one of the players' choices, his first career selection, obviously, and 27 home runs.
Really impressive, not only his power, but his hitting proficiency, hitting the ball all over the ballpark. Victor Martinez having yet another fantastic season.
And hitting with power this year that they really didn't see a couple of years ago, and he has been crucial to their lineup, backing up Miguel Cabrera.
He'll be in the game tonight, of course, against the Rays in Price, and what a compliment he has been to Miguel. Yoenis Cespedes, the home run derby champion, back at the All-Star game festivities, and he's going to be playing. He's got the 14, the 55, but the recent throws have been what's got everybody's attention.
Yeah, don't run on him. If he gets the ball in the All-Star game, Tim, stay at the base. Don't run.
And one of those guys that may or may not be able to play, given that he hurt himself badly yesterday, Edwin Encarnacion. And if he can't go, then you've got a list of guys that can replace him. Certainly Ortiz is a DH. His name will be tossed around. Jose Altuve will be the shortest guy on the field, and he's having arguably the best season.
Yeah, Robinson Cano belongs on the All-Star team, but I would have had Altuve as the starter at second base. He's the most exciting guy in the league right now, other than Mike Trout.
Beltre, the great third baseman. No Longoria on the team as we go through the reserves. Kurt Suzuki makes his first, of course, the Minnesota Twin. And I mentioned the half-dozen A's. Derek Norris is making his first appearance along with Brandon Moss. The Royals send Alex Gordon, Michael Brantley of the Indians, and Alexi Ramirez for the first time. So a whole host of first-timers going to be representing the American League Tuesday night in Minnesota. There he is with the Red Sox uniform, the manager of the Red Sox and the American League All-Star team, and that, of course, is John Farrell. All right, so this is the first time for you. I know you've been involved with All-Star games before, and you've watched them all. What is going to be your philosophy with all these great players you have?
Well, I think it's important that we have an obligation and uphold that to win the game for the American League. We were able to, I think, take advantage of home field advantage last year, and you go back to the All-Star game as a main reason why. So we've got that obligation to take care of it.
How do you balance, John, winning the game and making sure, and if it's even a priority, that everybody is leaving kind of as happy as they came?
Well, I think we'll do whatever we can to make sure everyone makes an appearance, particularly position players. That might be a little bit more controllable than the pitching side of things. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that will look back on this game, this event, as a contributor and pivotal moment in their postseason run.
You know, in a lot of ways, it feels like the same way Ripken in Seattle, Jeter here, that this is in the beginning of the game going to feel a lot like the Derek Jeter celebration. How do you plan on handling that? And maybe have you thought about his departure from the game, if there is even one of those?
You know, Carl, I think it's important to showcase Derek for just a Hall of Fame and incredible career. And I think there'll be an opportunity to do just that, to highlight when he comes out of a game. My first thought is it would happen inside of a defensive inning to where, you know, he'll have a chance to salute the crowd and come off. But I think it'll be great for baseball to witness his last All-Star appearance and really congratulate on just an incredible career.
All right, John, look forward to seeing you. We'll see you Monday in Minnesota. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, Carl, thanks.
That's John Farrell, and he has the American League, which we now turn over to Barry Larkin as we look at your Taco Bell starting lineup, if you could.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing that's very important is to communicate with the players that just because I'm not hitting you in the top of the lineup doesn't mean that you're not one of our best players, because we have to hit somebody 7th, 8th, and 9th. Derek Jeter is going to be my leadoff guy. Like I said, I'm really interested to see how the Minnesota fans are going to applaud him. Robinson Cano, he's used to hitting behind Jeter. Mike Trout, Miguel Cabrera, Jose Bautista, Nelson Cruz, Adam Jones, Josh Donaldson, and for Matt Wieters, Salvador Perez. And once again, you know, the All-Star game is, you know, there are a lot of egos, but you check your ego at the door because everybody's great. Someone has to hit 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Trout, Cabrera, and Bautista. I just can't wait to see Cueto or Kershaw or Wainwright go through those. To me, that's what the All-Star game is all about, are the great confrontations that we see. The best pitcher in the league against the best hitter in the league, even for one at bat, it's priceless.
That's the problem. I mean, you hit 7, 8, or 9, and usually you're like, you know what, I don't have to deal with Kershaw. But now you got to deal with Wainwright or vice versa. And then you got to deal with anybody that comes in all almost on the same level. There is no break.
There's no hiding. There's no hiding in the All-Star game. Everyone is good, but that's part of it.
It's a pretty good one, though. I can see the way he structured that. That's a good-looking lineup there. And the Cano batting behind Jeter, it's happened before.
It has.
And they've had some success. All right, let's take a look at the National League. And a reminder, these are the starters, of course, brought to you by Taco Bell. You got McCutchen, Puig, and Carlos Gomez in the outfield, so there's no Ryan Braun, and there's no Giancarlo Stanton starting. Tulowitzki, Utley at second base, Aramis Ramirez at third, Paul Goldschmidt will be at first for the Diamondbacks, so Freddie Freeman doesn't get the start, and behind the plate, Yadier Molina. We've already mentioned that Lucroy is on the team, so he's not going to be a starter. But let's take a look at the full list of reserves that will be at the dispense of Mike Matheny. One of them is that guy, and look forward to seeing him run the home run derby and then get into the game.
Well, if I'm the manager, I'm putting him in as much as I can. You've got a DH in the National League this year, so maybe he's my man.
Jonathan Lucroy should be starting the All-Star game. He's had the best year of any catcher in the big leagues and is a big reason that the Brewers are where they are.
All right, so Utley is the starter. Who's the second best second baseman? Well, Dee Gordon's had a phenomenal year for the Dodgers. After kind of moving over and settling in, he's flourished.
He really has. His speed is phenomenal. He's getting on base, making productive outs with the bat, just really understanding how to play the game. He's grown up a lot.
Freddie Freeman doesn't have to worry about the final vote this time around. He's in. Players love him. Second career All-Star selection. And he has really been the solidifying force for the Braves, and they've had a good year.
Right, and he's the one Brave that really puts the ball in play, gives you a good at-bat, doesn't strike out as much.
Starlin Castro, after the Cubs make that big deal and they get some infield pieces, you wonder how long Castro is going to be a Cub. Theo Epstein says he's a foundation piece. He's an All-Star.
Well, he'll be a foundation piece. It's just a matter of where he will be. But he can certainly swing the bat, as can Todd Frazier. Nice to see him on the All-Star team.
Right. He might be the most excited guy to make the All-Star team, and there are a lot of first-timers this year, and that's my favorite part about the All-Star game, those guys who've never been there before.
All right, so you're liking Devin Mesoraco, of course, the backstop for the Cincinnati Reds, who was hitting 400 for a lot of the year. Charlie Blackmon, too, got off to such a fast start, although has cooled off considerably. Hunter Pence makes his third appearance for the San Francisco Giants in the outfield. Josh Harrison and Daniel Murphy first-timers. There's a lot of people who say Harrison has had a good year, but there's others who probably have had better, if not equal.
Oh, that's certainly. But this is he's a utility guy, play outfield, infield, pinch run, get a hit off the bench.
And it's more than just the numbers. This guy does a lot for the psyche of the team.
And Clint Hurdle, of course, will be one of the coaches with Mike Matheny there on the bench. And the man that's got to shuffle this deck, it's sort of like having a bunch of rooks in a game of chess, is Mike Matheny. They're all really good players. So as we welcome you to the program, you look at your roster, you help form it. What do you think of it?
Impressive group, Carl. We've got obviously a lot of guys having very good years and a number of guys who could have easily been added to that list. But real excited about this team coming together.
You know, you've seen this, and we all have evolve and then, in a sense, dissolve, and now the game is for home field advantage. I'm curious, having played in it, watched it, what is the Mike Matheny manager philosophy now?
Well, we're trying to win a game, and that's all there is to it. And you look at last year and our opportunity to how it may have turned out a little bit different in the World Series had we had home field advantage. But it's something that the guys, obviously, they're going to play for pride, no matter whether it's a game that has a significant meaning or not. They're going to go out and play and show off their talents. But as we're putting together a team and trying to put together how it's going to play out, there's a lot on the line for hopefully a National League team like ours.
It appears as if both Adam and Clayton, and look, there are a whole host of others, but those two guys are on a kind of a crash course for the Mike Matheny who's going to start here. And obviously, Adam wears the Cardinal uniform. Well, what will lead into that decision for you, and how important is the starting pitcher?
Well, I think it's a great honor, and you put a couple names out there of guys who definitely do deserve that, and I think there's a couple others too that you could throw in there. But you know, it'll come down to a decision Monday right before the game, and just kind of see how everybody's feeling, and once again, just like when you put this whole thing together, just trying to make a good decision.
Right, and we know that Adam doesn't want to give the ball up. Will he be lobbying? Will he come into the old office and say, hey, Mike, you know, there's that starting thing on that Tuesday night?
Yeah, he's pretty good at lobbying, but I'm pretty good also at deferring and waiting to make the right decision. And he's been such a gamer. Just like, you know, anytime you have a room full of pitchers like we have, you really can't go wrong with any of those decisions.
All right, look forward to seeing you, Mike. Thanks very much, and we'll check in with you early next week.
All right, Carl. Thank you.
They're really a good team, obviously. They're a great team, but the starting pitching, just given the way that Kershaw is pitching and Wainwright and the start they got, and you mentioned Cueto, what do you think the biggest kind of decision he's going to make? Is it the lineup, or is it who's going to be the starting pitcher?
I think all of it. I think it's like you said, it's an honor. And, you know, it's tough when you have to tell someone no. you know, like you don't deserve it, but you do deserve it.
Right.
But I'm going to go with this guy. You know, this is a great position to be in, but it's also a tough position to be in, Mike.
The dreaded only one ball, one mound, one start.
Right, and again, this is a rare year where there are 4 guys who are completely qualified to start the All-Star game. It's interesting.
All right, so there is DH, both teams. Let's get to Barry's starting lineup, if you could, with the National League, and it's brought to you by Taco Bell.
Well, I love speed at the top of the lineup. Andrew McCutchen is my guy, the reigning MVP. He's going to lead my club. Yasiel Puig has really developed as a young player, matured into himself as what he's doing right now. Troy Tulowitzki, I'm hoping he's healthy. And we've seen him make a play in the game today. Maybe tweak something down there. There's my DH, Giancarlo Stanton. I'm glad you guys didn't vote him in to start because now I get a chance to put him right in the middle of the lineup with everybody else. Goldschmidt, Gomez having a fabulous year. And once again, great hitters at the 7, 8, 9. Molina, Ramirez, and Utley hitting 9th on the team. Are you serious? Are you serious?
We'll ask you. Are you serious?
No, I'm not. This is fantasy baseball right here.
Scott Utley hitting
that's what you got to do. You've got to, someone's got to hit 7th, 8th, and 9th.
McCutchen, Puig at the top of the order spells an awful lot of energy. And then, of course, then you get Stanton and you get Goldschmidt coming up. Whoa.
You were in Minnesota. Anything to the ballpark? Any impact that this park's going to have on this game?
Well, the game I saw on Friday, the ball was flying out of there. Granted, there were some pretty good hitters, but I think we're going to get a decent scoring All-Star game, despite the incredible pitching we're going to see.
Despite the pitching. David Price is one of those guys, and you'll be able to watch him tonight. Looks like a good night in Detroit. We're about 8.5 away from the start of the Rays and Tigers to wrap up this Sunday in baseball. And we'll wrap up this All-Star Selection Show in just a couple of minutes. Want to remind everybody, for the first time ever, as you watch this All-Star game, teams will be wearing a cap specifically designed for the game. The Diamond Era caps, 2- and 3-toned with a triangular section on the front. Remember the batting helmets worn in the 60s and 70s by the Twins? The Orioles had that look as well. Of course, Minnesota hosting this year's game. You can check out the All-Star Game merchandise at MLB.com, and we will be right back.
Everything was perfect. My mom was the best. I could tell her anything. But then I learned the truth, and my whole life changed. My name is not my name. My home is not my home. My life is not my life. My mom is not my mom. She's my kidnapper.
Need something more sensible? Find the right car for you. Visit autotrader.ca today.
They say his magic erasers tackle so many messes that Mr. Clean once wrote a book about them. Not only do they clean everyday dirt, they clean a lot of unexpected stuff too, like scuffed up shoes, tough stuck-on sticker gunk, and lots more. In fact, his book got so full, he made a website instead. Share your magic eraser tips at mycleanbook.ca.
So you start a new diet, and then you get invited to a baby shower, or you go to the movies, and then along comes a big family event. With temptation everywhere, no wonder it's so hard to lose weight. But it doesn't have to be that way. Slim Band works because you can enjoy the foods you love and lose weight. Want to learn more? Then visit us online to see if Slim Band is right for you. Because life's too short to be on a diet.
When you start strong, 2014 North American Truck of the Year strong, you keep going. Introducing the new Chevy Silverado Heavy Duty. With over 160 billion kilometers of real-world Duramax and Allison experience on the road. True North strong, just got stronger. Now, get employee pricing on any 2014 Silverado or 2015 Silverado Heavy Duty.
When choosing a hose, the choice is clear. With the exclusive all-season clear hose, the unique flat hose design is self-draining, durable, compact, and ultra-light. Flexible and kink-resistant, it even works at -10 degrees. Stores in your boat or RV. It's drinking water safe, too. The all-season clear hose. Available only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners. With expert advice.
Trivago searches hundreds of websites at the same time and shows you the most popular hotels. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. That's how you can be sure that you'll find the ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Are you ready to see TV this summer? Go! Every team has a shot.
It's going to take a lot to take us down.
This is the first chance we have to win together.
The claws will come out.
We have a great chemistry. We're going to bring our A game.
We are gonna win. Mark our words. Game on. It's race time. The Amazing Race Canada. Starting Tuesday, 9/8 Central on CTV. Brought to you in part by Air Canada. Connecting the Amazing Race Canada to the world.
There's so much information coming from so many different sources, which I want. I want all the sources coming my way. I always want to know what the consensus is thinking. And I always like to push against that consensus because often that's where the opportunities lie.
Catherine Murray, Monday to Friday on Business Day.
Selection Show is brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss. And in part by T-Mobile. There are those cool hats. We'll see them during the entire All-Star Week, which starts with the Gillette Home Run Derby, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That is Monday, July 14th. The Red Carpet Show, presented by Chevrolet. Tuesday, it starts at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. You get a chance to see all the All-Stars in the backs of really nice cars. And then the game coverage on Fox, 7:30 Eastern Time. The 85th All-Star Game, 2014 style. Looking forward to Tuesday because that is when we will hear who Troy Tulowitzki and Jose Bautista have selected to be on their home run derby teams. Tulo seemed to aggravate a little groin today, and Encarnacion wiped out yesterday, so he's likely not to be one of those choices. But we'll see that Tuesday on SportsCenter at 6 Eastern. Congratulations, Charlie Blackmon, his first All-Star selection. That must feel really cool, even though your team is down by 6, and the folks in Colorado show their appreciation for the season that Blackmon is having. They'd like to see the Rockies get a little warmer. Now it's on your plate. Is it Keuchel, Kluber, Richards, Porcello, or Chris Sale? These are the 5 men that make up the final vote candidates. Voting will run through Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and this is always very, very hotly contested. Same way that Garrett Richards pitched well today, kind of an audition, if you will. Rick Porcello's got a chance to do it tonight as he will pitch for Detroit.
Did I see Chris Sale's number on the final?
His name is there.
On that final 5 slot?
8-1, 2.16 ERA, whip under 1,
Wow.
16 walks, 96 strikeouts. How can he not be
Just
on?
a lot.
Wow.
It's the Kershaw maybe can't start argument. Time on the DL. Not only he missed a few starts.
My goodness.
But I agree, Sale should
Look
be
how
there.
deep that list was. Garrett Richards should be in the All-Star game. That's how good he has been.
And the caveat to all of it is injuries and other things pop up that allow certain players to...
A bunch of them are all going to get it.
Eventually get there. Exactly. All right, how about the Final 5 in the National League? If this is your team and your league, you get the chance to add Morneau, who's having a silly year for the Rockies. Anthony Rizzo probably deserves to be there at first base for the Cubs. Rendon, Casey McGee of the Marlins, and Justin Upton, the outfielder for the Braves. Any thoughts on these, or is it not as sort of clear-cut as Sale and Richards feel?
Yeah, I don't think it's as clear-cut. Yeah, all of them deserving. Certain finite amount of spots. It's always a tough decision to come down to those final guys that
You're
do
tapping the vote. I'm tapping Rizzo probably. Who are you going to tap?
I think I would tap Rizzo or Anthony Rendon. When you look at the third base pool, I think he definitely should be on the All-Star team.
Are you as on board with the All-Star game as I am?
I
This was
love-
a big summer night. As you're growing up, every
I love the All-Star game. I love All-Star Week. I love what a big thing it is. And it's a celebration of the game. And I think we sometimes make too big a deal about who's winning and losing rather than just enjoying how great the players are.
And I'm curious, as a player, because you do hear some of those guys who kind of imply that they'd rather be elsewhere. And the majority of them are like, no, this is where I want to be. I'm an All-Star. Were you one of these? I'm in.
Oh, absolutely, I was in.
The honor.
You rather be elsewhere until the game starts.
And then you're like,
that's what it is. You're really appreciative of the honor.